Welcome to the deep dive. Ever notice how someone who's amazing in one area, like really top tier, suddenly becomes this voice you trust on, well, completely different topics?
Oh, absolutely. It happens all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah. So we've got this really interesting piece of research here. It explores exactly that. Why we give so much weight to what high achievers say, even when it's, frankly, way outside their expertise. So our mission today is sort of to unpack this excellence effect, figure out what it means, how it shapes influence.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is the almost automatic trust we give them. People who've really reached the top of their game, it's like this mental shortcut we take.
A shortcut? How so?
Well, we sort of assume, don't we, that success in, say, sports or acting must mean they have good judgment overall.
Exactly. The source calls it instant credibility. It just happens. You mentioned sports. Think about a famous athlete endorsing, I don't know, a brand of soup or something.
Yeah.
We see their skill on the court, and somehow that makes their opinion on soup seem, well, more valid. Why do we even do that?
Well, a big part of it seems to be our basic human desire for connection. The research suggests we admire these people, we look up to them, maybe we even aspire on some level to their success.
Okay, so admiration leads to connection.
Yeah, and that admiration, that connection, it kind of creates this psychological pathway that makes us more receptive to what they think, what they say.
Even if it's about something they probably know very little about.
Precisely.
It's almost like we think, wow, they're so successful, they must be smart about everything.
Yeah.
Even if it's, like you said, cars or finance or something totally unrelated to, say, playing basketball.
And the examples are everywhere. That basketball player you mentioned, the source notes they might earn more from endorsements than their actual salary.
Wow.
And that whole platform is built purely on their basketball skill.
Right.
Not on, deep knowledge of running shoes or soft drinks.
So their mastery in one specific thing just creates this aura, this perception of general excellence.
Exactly. It's what psychologists sometimes call a heuristic, a mental shortcut. Extreme success becomes a quick way for our brains to judge someone as generally competent or trustworthy.
Like a rule of thumb. Great at X, probably good judgment overall.
Something like that, yeah. It's efficient for our brains, even if it's not always accurate.
And it's not just sports, is it? I mean, the source mentions other examples.
Oh, definitely. Think about Olympic swimmers. Their opinions suddenly seem important just because they won medals.
Right. Or actors. We admire their talent on screen, so we suddenly care which car they drive.
It's that halo effect again. Achievement in one area casts a positive light, a halo, onto everything else about them.
So it colors our perception in, totally unrelated fields.
And if you think bigger picture, it kind of shows how we cope with, information overload.
Right.
These shortcuts, like trusting someone based on unrelated success, they help us process things quickly. Not always perfectly, but quickly.
Okay, so for you listening, the main thing to maybe take away here is just being aware of this excellence effect. Recognizing that, someone's influence might actually stem from their achievements somewhere else entirely.
Yeah, not necessarily from genuine expertise on the topic right in front of you. And it makes you think, doesn't it, about your own life. Have you ever noticed maybe your own opinions getting a bit more weight because you achieved something totally different?
That's a good point. It's subtle, but probably happens more than we realize.
Like a powerful dynamic.
Definitely makes you think. We admire excellence, naturally, but understanding how that admiration translates into this broader influence, it helps us be a bit more, maybe, discerning about whose opinions we really value and why.
And maybe consider the responsibility that comes with that kind of influence, too.
True.
So, just to wrap it up, exceptional skill, exceptional ability, it often creates this halo of credibility, right?
Yeah.
And that halo stretches far beyond the actual skill itself. Mostly because, we want to connect, and our brains like shortcuts.
Makes sense. So here's a final thought for you to mull over. Think about the people you really admire for their expertise in one area. Are their opinions influencing you elsewhere, in unrelated fields? And if so, why might that be? What does that tell you about, the power of excellence and just that basic human drive to connect with it? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.